In northern states, slavery was illegal, and many considered it a great evil that must be halted. In the South, slavery was a vital part of the economy. The Americans had been debating slavery for decades, but everything reached a peak when Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860. Many people in the South believed that Lincoln would end slavery. So most of the slave states withdrew from the United States and created their own nation. That resulted in a great civil war. Many people perished. The North triumphed, the slaves were liberated, and the United States was reunited. I am sorry to learn about the assassination of President Lincoln. Yeah, another assassin tried to kill me on that same night, but I survived the stabbing. That is terrible. I mean, it is terrible that you were stabbed, but I am glad you survived. By the way, the Tsar wants America to have Alaska. How much can you pay for it? I think we can manage 5 million. Maybe 5.5 million, but not more. How about 7 million? Sure. Great. I have authorization for 7 million. We can complete the treaty tomorrow. Can we do it tonight? I should have requested more money. Great. Now America possesses another enormous piece of land. Now it just needs a few tropical islands. Hey, look at that. Some American businessmen have seized control of the Hawaiian Islands, and they are asking the United States to annex them. But the President of the United States refused. He believed that America must be a fair and law-abiding nation that never abuses its great power to exploit the weak. But others worried that if America did not engage in Hawaii's affairs, another great power such as Germany or Japan would come and take the islands and use them as a base to attack America in a future war. Should America attend to its own business, or should it attend to its own interests? America's policy of staying out of other nations' conflicts was about to be tested because something was brewing in Cuba, and it was not coffee. Cuba was in the midst of a war for independence. Almost all of Spain's other colonies had already won their independence from Spain after the American and French revolutions. But Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines remained colonies of Spain. The Cuban War for Independence was constantly in American newspapers, and most Americans felt sympathy for the revolutionaries. In 1898, after an American warship sank in a mysterious explosion, the U.S. told Spain to leave Cuba or else. Spain responded by declaring war on the United States. Then the U.S. quickly captured Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines, effectively ending what remained of the Spanish Empire that Christopher Columbus had started. During the Spanish-American War, the U.S. also annexed Hawaii, which was becoming a crucial naval base. After the war, the president was shot, and so the young and energetic Theodore Roosevelt unexpectedly became president. Hey, Columbia. We want to construct a canal right here. Sure, just pay us $10 million. It is a deal. Actually, we changed our mind. You cannot build a canal. What? But we made a deal. Sorry. Hey, Panama. Welcome to the Club of Countries. We want to build a canal right here. Sure. Go ahead. While Roosevelt was president, he built up the world's second largest navy and used this powerful navy to shape global politics. The Americans finished building the Panama Canal in 1914, allowing the powerful U.S. Navy to move quickly between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. America had become a world power, and World War I had just started. If you want me to create more videos like this, please subscribe to let me know, and be sure to watch the next video right here. If you wish to learn more about American history, I will leave notes and clarifications in the description. See you next time. We are the ones who constantly help you. And how can you tax us if we lack voting rights? The colonists were unhappy with the new taxes, and the disagreement escalated into a conflict, and from a conflict into a revolution. On July 4th, 1776, the Americans declared their independence from Great Britain. And that was the start of the United States of America, correct? Not exactly. It would be 5 more years before the Americans succeeded in their independence war. And after they had gained their freedom, they faced a new issue. The government they had formed was a total disaster. The 13 colonies had essentially become 13 independent nations that were united only in name. The new nation was collapsing, and it was collapsing quickly. So the Founding Fathers wrote a new constitution and built an entirely new federal government that genuinely functioned. The new constitution became official when 9 states had approved it. And in 1789, George Washington was chosen as the first president of the United States. But the USA was only this large, and all the land over here belonged to Spain. So how did America obtain more land? Well, over in France, a man named Napoleon seized power and began conquering Europe. Napoleon also desired to construct an empire in America, so he made a deal with Spain that would return Louisiana to France. But the Americans needed to use the Mississippi River to transport goods to and from other locations. And they worried about what Napoleon might do if he controlled the river. So America asked France to sell New Orleans to them. You know my plans for a great empire in North America. But now I must invade Britain. We can build our empire in America after we defeat the British. But if the Americans discover our plans for America, they will support Britain, which could be deadly. But if we sell Louisiana to the Americans, they will be our allies forever, and Britain will be ours. It would be unwise to sell our biggest territory, and the Americans only want New Orleans. Enough. I have decided. We will sell everything. The money will finance our war with Britain. And so America purchased Louisiana for $15 million. America had just doubled in extent. And that was beneficial because America's population was also nearly doubling every 20 years. In those times, the typical American family had 7 children, and all those kids required somewhere to live. So many Americans moved west where there was plenty and plenty of unoccupied land. Does anyone own this land? Of course not. Excellent, because now it belongs to me. But these lands, my hunting grounds. That is not correct English. You ought to say these lands were my hunting grounds. In 1819, America bought Florida from Spain and consented that this line right here would serve as the border between the United States and New Spain. Just 2 years later, Mexico achieved its independence from Spain, and America gained a new neighbor. Mexico's northern territories were sparsely populated and hard to control, so the Mexican government invited Americans to settle in Texas. These settlers rapidly outnumbered the Mexicans, and soon the Texans broke free from Mexico and formed their own independent republic. Yeehaw! We wish to join the USA. Do you hold slaves? Yes, we do, and we take pride in it. Well, sorry. We do not require any more slave states. Hey guys, I am president now, and this is ours. In 1845, the United States changed its mind and allowed the Republic of Texas to join the Union. Disputes over Texas's border led to a war with Mexico. At the war's conclusion, the United States paid Mexico $15 million and seized the northern parts of Mexico that President Polk wanted. Just 5 years later, the United States also bought another piece of land from Mexico for $10 million. Meanwhile, the British agreed to let the Americans possess all the Oregon Territory below this line, as long as the British could keep everything above the line. And so in just 50 years of great fortune and one ugly war with Mexico, America now extended from ocean to ocean. And now there was nowhere remaining to grow. Unless, hello, Uncle Sam. I have discovered an island in the middle of the ocean. May I claim it for the US? We might require that for World War II. Does anyone live there? No, sir. Is it covered in bird droppings? Yes, sir. Congratulations, son. You are standing on US ground. Actually, sir, I would not call this ground. By the way, the Guano Island Act remains a law. So, if you are weary of paying far too much for rent, go find yourself an island to occupy. Wow, everything is wonderful. Right after the Americans obtained California, news spread that gold had been found, and many people hurried to California to help excavate the gold. Up in the Oregon Territory, there was plenty of free farmland. America was flourishing, and there was peace on all sides. But there was a large problem on the inside, and that was the problem of slavery. America stands as the wealthiest and strongest nation in history. Yet America's climb to the top was genuinely rather unforeseen. Actually, Much of North America was overlooked for more than 100 years after its discovery. Here is a map created just before Christopher Columbus found America. The Vikings claimed they had found an island somewhere over here, but nobody understood that it was truly a continent. So, Columbus thought that he might locate a trading path to Asia by heading west. But instead, he discovered some islands in the Caribbean Sea. Columbus failed to find the spices he sought, but he still thought that he was near India. Thus, he named the natives Indians, gathered some treasures, and brought them back to Spain's king and queen. "Hey, your majesties, I have just returned from Asia." "Excellent. Where are the spices?" "Well, we haven't located the spices yet, but they possess vast amounts of gold." "Now you are speaking sensibly, Columbus. Return. Instruct them all to become Christians and bring back that gold." A few years before Columbus claimed the West Indies for Spain, the Portuguese had learned that they could get to Asia by sailing around Africa. So, Spain and Portugal drew a line straight down the map's center. And they consented that every non-Christian land on this side of the line would go to Portugal and everything on the opposite side would belong to Spain. Thus, the Portuguese sailed to Asia and established a vast trade empire, and the Spanish became busy conquering their share of the world. All the appealing parts of the Americas were down here where there was plenty of gold, silver, and people. So that is where the Spanish headed. Actually, the Spanish also launched an expedition into North America in 1539, but they found no gold or silver. So they largely ignored all these worthless lands up here in North America. The English actually dispatched an explorer to North America while the Spanish were still investigating the Caribbean islands. That occurred 16 years before the Spanish discovered Florida. But after that, the English waited nearly 100 years before they attempted to colonize America. England's first colony was founded at Roanoke, North Carolina in 1585. But that same year, England became occupied with fighting a war against Spain, and that colony vanished mysteriously. So they attempted again at Jamestown, and this time it succeeded. Next, the Pilgrims arrived in Plymouth. The Pilgrims were devout Christians who prohibited bad things like gambling and observing Christmas. Soon, many people were coming to America, and before long, the East Coast became crowded with British colonies. Meanwhile, the French were busy claiming all the land in North America's middle. Now, it is 1754, and it is time for a war to determine who truly owns what in America. New France has a population of about 60,000 people. So, they ally with some Indian tribes to assist them in fighting. That is why it is named the French and Indian War. The British colonies have a population exceeding 1 million people, and they also ally with some Indian tribes. Who do you believe won? Correct, the British defeated the French. At the same time, a major war was also occurring back in Europe. And when it finished, it was time to redraw the map. France gave half of Louisiana to Spain before the war ended to ensure Britain did not acquire it. Then after the war, France had to give the other half of Louisiana to Britain. France also had to hand over Canada to Britain. Now Britain possessed much land in America, but Britain had also spent huge sums on the war. And now they required money. Hey colonies, you know that costly war we assisted you in winning? Yeah, thanks for the support. Sure, no trouble. By the way, we will start collecting many taxes to cover all the help we give you. What? You never ate us.